If you're a coach or consultant stuck on sales calls all day long, or you're burning cash on VSL funnels that can't convert, then watch this video because I am about to show you the entire webinar system that has generated us over $1 million for our clients and the exact system we're using to scale our own agency to 100K a month this year. Now, I know what you're thinking, webinars, aren't those dead? Don't people just skip to the end or drop off really quickly? Well, no, in 2025, webinars are one of the only scalable ways to consistently build trust, handle objections in real time, and convert traffic into high-ticket buyers without you being stuck on sales calls 40 hours a week. Now, my name is Marcus and I'm the co-owner of Webinar Wizards. And we've helped coaches go from doing 2 to 3 sales calls a week to booking over 80 sales calls in a single month on autopilot. So in this video, I'm going to break down why webinars are so good for scaling your info business in 2025. So I'm going to cover 3 things. First, what one-to-many selling actually is and why it's so valuable if you want to scale past 6 figures. And then I'll cover the difference between one-to-many selling and one-to-one selling and how you can use both effectively to properly scale your business. And finally, I'll show you the exact webinar framework we use to consistently scale businesses and how it stacks on top of your current funnels. So without further ado, let's just dive straight into this. Before we get into it, if you do want to see a bit more about our case studies, then you can check out the second link in the description. That'll just show you a bit more about like kind of what we do and how we work. But firstly, what is one-to-many selling? Let's start with the basics, right? Strip it back down to the bare bones. What is one-to-many selling? Well, one-to-many selling is the idea of getting a large group of people, whether that's 100, 1,000, or even more people, all in one virtual room at the same time. What you do is you deliver them massive value up front, you educate them, and you answer their questions live. And then you pitch your offer at the end. Now, the 2 most common formats for this are webinars and challenge funnels, right? You'll see these all the time right now because all the big players are using them, right? Daniel Fazio, Alex Hormozi, Serge Guattari, Iman Gadzhi, William Brown, Shelby Sapp. Right now, they're all using either a webinar funnel like Hormozi just did, or challenges like William Brown is doing right now with his personal brand challenge. Shelby Sapp has run both webinars and challenges to scale her sales coaching business past $1 million a month. Daniel Fazio ran a 5-day challenge recently. They're all using webinars or challenges because they are so powerful. So what actually is the benefit of running one-to-many? And why are all the top players using this model? Well, there's 3 key reasons that we're going to break down now. So why is one-to-many so damn good? Well, the first reason is that these live events, right, webinars, challenges, workshops, they're not being used by everyone. And the reason is really simple. Nobody in the info space actually understands how they work, how to run them properly, because everyone is doing the same thing, which is a VSL call funnel, application funnel, straight to a calendar link, something like that. And only the big players are using them right now because they figured it out. They've cracked the code. But they work just as well for everyone else. You don't need 1 million followers, you don't need a massive budget, and you don't need to be someone like Alex Hormozi. If you are a coach, a consultant, or a course creator with an audience, even if it's a small one, and we'll get onto that a bit later on, you can run these funnels and see the exact same results because the barrier entry isn't your audience size, it's just knowing how to do it, and or either knowing yourself or having somebody like us do it for you, because that is what will give you the advantage going into 2025, 2026, when trust is at a much lower rate and you need to be building that trust rapidly. And so moving on to reason number 2, webinars absolutely destroy traditional funnels like VSL or application funnels because a webinar is a selling mechanism that allows you to provide real genuine value to your audience in the training section and the Q&A. So unlike a VSL call funnel where you're just sitting there and talking at people where they just like kind of watch passively, maybe they click, maybe they don't, maybe they show up, maybe they don't. On a webinar, right? There's actual interaction. You're teaching them something valuable. You get to answer their questions live. You show your real case studies and you show that you're a real human being throughout. And what that does is build 10 times more trust than any pre-recorded funnel ever could. And trust is what sells high ticket offers. You need trust to sell your offer at scale. And moving on to reason number 3, you get to handle every single objection that exists before you even make a sales pitch, right? You'll see things like this all the time on your sales calls if you're running a VSL call funnel. Things like, I don't have the time, I don't know if it's going to work for me, I don't have the money, it's too expensive, right? And we get to handle these objections on the actual webinar. I don't have time. In the training, you address that anyone with low time can use it. I don't know if this will work for me. In the training, you show 3, 4, 5 case studies, all different, and apply it to the training content, proving that it works. I've tried this before and failed. right? You explain why your USP, your unique selling proposition, is different to everybody else. It's too expensive. You break down the ROI, the return on investment, and you show them the cost of inaction inside of what's called the close of the webinar, at the end, before you actually try and CTA them to book a call. What you can do is you can be like, okay, here's what happens if you don't take action. So you handle kind of all of the objections and build so much value up before you even pitch. And then all you have to do is hit them with a limited time exclusive offer with exclusive bonuses that they'll never get again, only available to people on the actual webinar. And you're giving hundreds of people a reason to take action right now, here and then, not waiting, right in this second, and book a call right now. And so they're going to be so much more warmed up to the actual call. They know why they're getting on the sales call. Obviously, that makes things 10 times easier for you or your closers to actually handle. And like I said, that is the power of one-to-many selling. Just want to walk you guys through a quick case study as well. So this is one of my clients, Haroon. He had around 17,000 followers when he started working with us. And as you can see, only just a TikTok audience, and that's it. We managed to collect $32,000 in less than 72 hours, booking in 57 sales calls. And went on to do something like $45,000 cash collected in total for 7 days. And again, you don't need a big audience, right? We just booked something like 76 sales calls on the back of one webinar for another one of our clients that had only 8,000 TikTok followers and 2,000 Instagram followers and no presence on YouTube. So this was all without ads as well. So you don't need a big audience. You need the right conversion mechanisms, and we'll get onto that a bit later on. And so moving on to step 2, I want to break down the difference between one-to-one selling and one-to-many selling, and why I think just one-to-many selling is 10 times better. Now, to be honest, you don't have to choose one-to-many and one-to-one, right? Webinars don't replace sales calls. You might still need to run a sales call, but they fill your calendar with people who are already pre-sold. You know you're going to get more out of the sales calls that you do book. Now, let me explain. First of all, show-up rates are higher. When someone books in a call after sitting through your webinar, they're already invested, right? They spend an hour with you, 2 hours with you, maybe if it's a challenge funnel, multiple days of you. So they actually want to talk to you. And compare that to someone who filled out a form on a VSL and barely remembers who you are by the time the call comes around. Show-up rates are always going to be consistently higher on a webinar. Secondly, they have way less objections, right? So you've already handled the big ones in the webinar, like we said before. By the time they get on the call, they're not asking if they should buy, they're asking how they can get started. And that's the power of handling these objections on the webinar in 1.5 to 3 hours time. And finally, it's 10 times easier to close because people have already spent 60 to 90 minutes with you. They've seen you teach, they've heard you answer questions, they've watched you handle objections from other people on the webinar. They trust you, and trust is what closes high ticket deals. I'm going to keep repeating it throughout this video. You need trust, and this is what builds that. Your closer, if your closers, you see, it might be yourself, it might be your, an actual close, maybe you've got multiple closers. Either way, they're fighting, they're no longer fighting an uphill battle, should I say. They're just guiding someone who's already decided they want to work with you from A to B. They're showing them the way. That's all they're doing. So your closers will close more, they'll like you more, and therefore you obviously close even more in the future. And you don't have to get rid of your VSL funnel. You can run both at the same time. VSL funnel for the main leads, and then webinar funnel to sweep up the pipeline and get kind of skeptical people pushed across the line. And it's the big question that we're probably all wondering: how do you sell one-to-many? Well, you know how good it is. How do you do it? Well, there's actually 4 systems to it: the sign-up system, the show-up system, the sales system, and the follow-up system. I'm going to break them all down right here for you. Now, this is the exact system responsible for generating over $1 million in client results for our clients with webinars, right, in the info space and the SaaS space. And I want to show you how it works. So first of all, we've got the sign-up system. There's only really 2 ways you can get traffic, which is content and paid ads for a webinar. And so you want to be using as many different avenues as you can. We like to do a mix of both. What works really well as well, if you've got like a short form audience, you can use a bit of both. So you can use paid ads with content, retargeting people that have maybe clicked on a landing page, for example. And you also want to announce it to any current email list that you've got, long form CTAs, short form CTAs, push them to ManyChat, and then get them onto a sales page, right? And in the sales page, really, really simple. Headline, countdown to when it is, mini little VSL, USP, right, why is it different? Who is it for? Agenda of the call, case studies, CTA, and FAQ. I like to put the FAQ actually inside of the confirmation page now. And what you can do is also make breakout videos. I got directly from Jeremy Haynes. The guy that's made like 40 offers $1 million. He likes to put the FAQ on the confirmation page. Then again, confirmation page, headline, video, join like a WhatsApp, Telegram, Facebook group, confirm that they're going to be signing up, and then rules of the call, then obviously FAQs or breakout videos. And that's all you really need for an easy sign-up system, right? If you're any good of a marketer, or you need someone also to help you with this, then you can book a call. But if you are a good marketer, you should be able to get sign-ups to your webinar. Next is the show-up system. So if you don't have these systems in place, your show-up rate will likely be like 20 to 30%. With these systems, we consistently achieve 50%, 60% show-up rates on warm traffic, cold ads, 40 to 50%. So this works, right? This does work. And so the first thing you need is email and SMS flows. In your email and SMS, needs to be doing 4 things: showing social proof, handling objections, being relatable, and telling stories. You want an email, SMS, and just confirming multiple days out until like the actual live event, right? Pretty self-explanatory stuff. You also want a WhatsApp, Facebook, Telegram, Discord community. We like to just put in reminders, case studies, personality, hype the group up, get them ready, and then drop the link when they are obviously going to be joining the group chat. Joining the webinar. And then finally, multi-channel assets. You want to be doing YouTube community posts, retargeting ads, using YouTube nurturing assets, testimonial videos, giving them past webinar replays, IG story sequences, sharing that people are already also signing up for the webinar as well. All these different things will help massively. And then moving on to the conversion system. The conversion system is obviously where you create the live webinar. Now, I have more videos breaking this down. I'll link one video where I break down how we did 32K in like, I think it was 37 hours or 42 hours or something like that. 72 hours. I'll link that video first in the description so you can go and watch that and you can see the actual slides that we built out. Really, all you need is an intro to the teaching section and the pitching section, right? And I got this from a guy called John Pertherby. That's all you need. That's literally it, right? And you can run in your webinars on Webinar Jam, on Zoom, give them reasons to actually show up. So lead magnets, add scarcity to your marketing, and also have a really nice offer for them. Like, why should they actually join the webinar? Especially if it's going to be a paid webinar. I personally like free webinars. And then again, intro, actually teach where they're at, and then pitch them at the end. And the final part of the system, probably the most crucial part and the most underlooked part by most marketers, is the follow-up system. What you want to be doing is separating them into 4 groups: booked call, applied, didn't apply, and didn't see the pitch, right? And then you have to go and target each one differently. So first of all, obviously we have the normal booked call sequence. So if someone books a call, they get email sequences, SMS sequences. What we also like to do if we're in control of the sales team as well is we like to create a group chat between the setter, and this is the worst handwriting you've ever seen, the closer, God, that's terrible, and the actual person. And we create a separate business account for the actual creator. So that C is for creator. That's worst handwriting ever because I'm doing it on my Mac, but you get the point, right? Email sequences, SMS sequences, very, very simple stuff. Then apply, didn't apply, and didn't see pitch. These are kind of the 3 ballparks. You can break it down even further. This is what I like to do. If they've applied, right, you want the setter or the dialer on their back, hopefully dialing them, asking them questions, re-qualifying them, and booking for a call. For example, in the past 2 days, we've booked an extra 5 calls for one of our webinar campaigns on top of an existing 76, just by the dialer ringing like 50 people and saying, okay, do you want to book a call, right? Pushing them over the edge. You have the re-nurture for the people that either didn't apply, so they saw the webinar, they didn't apply for the high ticket offer, or they didn't see the pitch. So either they didn't attend or that they only spent like 30 minutes on the webinar. Again, re-nurturing. We have a separate email sequence that works for both of these people all at once. You don't need to segregate them for this part. Email sequence saying either you showed up or you missed it. Either way, here's some like value, here's some free stuff, the exclusive offer's ending soon. And then you also want to be giving them the offer replay, right? I've not really tested this in a while, but one thing you can do is a $1 to $10 fee for the replay sequence. That gives people a reason to actually watch it, make it non-skippable, and then at the end they'll book a call. And really the most important part is maximizing these people. For example, for a recent webinar, we had 200 people that didn't show up. We had 200 people that did, 200 people that didn't, 50% show up rate. So we're going through, we're targeting each of them. We've got 5-day email sequences, email, SMS, and a dialer, right? These are leads that have shown intent, right? They've signed up for the webinar and they've not shown up. You need to be targeting them as much as possible. So with that being said, that pretty much covers every single part you need to know about why webinars are so important for scaling your info business in 2025. Now, if you would like to just learn a little bit more about webinars and see how we could help you maybe implement them into your offer, if you go to the second link in the description, you'll be able to find a link to get your own custom one-to-many selling plan made for free. And if you don't like it, we'll literally transfer you $100. That's how confident we are that we can probably scale your business with one-to-many. You can see a bit more about our case studies, a bit more about what me and my co-owner Charlie actually do with our one-to-many agency and how that works, and see if it just overall could be a good fit to work with you. So that's kind of something you'd be interested in. Second link in the description. And I'll also leave a video explaining exactly how we booked one of our clients 57 sales calls and did them $32,000 in 72 hours, a webinar with only 17,000 TikTok followers. The video for that will be somewhere here. Go and check that out. And yeah, I'll see you in the next one.